Hi Arth, thank you for coming down and thank you for being a part of the Sonic cohort. While we have interacted before and know a lot about inside FPV, I think it will be good for our audience to understand that how you started 5 years back from now with just 5,000 rupees. We're building consumer drones and how has that journey evolved into you being one of the leaders in the defense ecosystem today?
So we started this journey back in 2020 after Galwan attack, and we realized one thing that India still has a back foot in terms of drone technology and everything is imported. And while we were working on projects with DRDO, BSF, the drones were too big to deploy, it were too complex systems. And everything was based on surveillance, reconnaissance. Now to build a drone which can be used after 5 years and could have an updated technology, we started doing it. But then, defense, it takes time. It takes a lot of trials, demos, on ground consumer feedback. And that's when the consumer drone started so that we can sustainably build the company and start generating revenue.
So you're saying the idea always to start with was defense, but it went from defense to consumer and now it's back to where it intended to be.
So the journey started from 5,000 rupees. But now, as you see that how the company has progressed and so far and so good.
We have spoken about the mission and how, from a technical standpoint, could you just walk us through the journey of what has changed from when you were building, let's say, consumer drones? And we understand that drones for the defense are a very different volume. Right. How has the technology internally for you folks, in terms of team capability, as well as on the hardware side of it, evolved?
So it was always to build a technology which is useful for the soldier and it's a foolproof system, right? And to build that foolproof system, you have to be on ground. Understand first of all the ruggedness of the system. Secondly, the software deployment, that my software should be in multiple modes in multiple languages so that even my Jawan can fly who does not know English. So with all that iterations and with all that changes, we realized that the drones which are used for consumers cannot be replicated and given to defense. There has to be a lot of different changes because the drones which are flying at minus 25 degrees Celsius, they cannot be there in air for like 2 minutes if they are flying in minus 25. So battery, heating, thermal, autonomous tech, flight tech, a lot of things has to be done.
When you guys started, you were almost at the fag end of your college, almost right out of college.
Right.
And how has the team evolved ever since? Have you brought in people with domain expertise, with defense expertise, and how has that changed the dynamics internally? How big are we today?
We are a team of 50 people. Right. And we started as a team of three. We were just trying to do something, but now we have a foolproof system and it's completely, I can say it today that it's a product market fit.
Perfect. And I mean, since you're in defense, I think this is a question that bounds to come. You have done demonstrations on the northern border with the Ministry of Defense, and we were speaking of this on our way here as well. Procurement cycles are very long, very erratic in nature. Sometimes the ministry feels that there is a need for ramping up my arsenal. Sometimes the uh, ministry feels that it's all cool and calm and we don't need anything for this year. So how have you seen that up close, in your opinion? Because we have also seen this for an extended period. Has it evolved? What are the changes on the procurement side for defense?
The procurement cycles for defense, which were like 3 to 5 years long, have just went up to almost like 6 months.
And just for the audience, can you share what was your quickest procurement from the ministry?
Yeah, so we recently did emergency procurement and happy to say that we completed that order in 2 months with money in the bank. So that's the fastest what we have achieved, and we also feel now the defense is trying to understand that drones has to be procured in a very quicker and the fastest time.
And see, a lot of people on this side of the table have this opinion about the ministries that they're very orthodox in the way of their dealing. In your experience, how has that evolved? Are they more agile? Are they more futuristic? Are they more welcoming to newer technologies? Uh, would you care to shed some light on that?
100%. So now today when you see, it's not money in the bank which would define you that you will get an order or not. How big you are would not define you will get an order or. It's about the technology, how fast you can deploy that technology and how fast you can deliver it. So we see that the startups are more welcomed. They are given more chance to do an indigenous R&D with defense 4Gs, and that is giving an India an edge over other companies in an upcoming time, that you will see India building up best and the better and the greatest tech across the globe.
That's wonderful. And I think I have a wildcard question here. Please don't be caught off guard. But since I'm super passionate about defense, what is one thing that you think that the ecosystem in a good way has surprised you? And where do you think is there a room for the ecosystem to grow and be more welcoming, both on the government side and also on the investors and the founder side of it, for the ecosystem to grow to nurture more defense tech startups?
So I was just speaking to General, Army General, few days back, and he said we would require 15 inside FPV like companies to fulfill the requirement what we have. One company cannot do it. Now that's a kind of procurement which is now required from the defense side. And when I talk about investors, if investors are going to invest in this level of early stages, they're definitely going to give a company growth. Plus, obviously, the investment is going to quadruple. But the most importantly, India is going to build a tech which the world has never seen before, because India has a potential. And I feel personally, when we were in college, it was a government grant. It's the government of India grant which gave us a first kick that you should start this, and that's the reason we started. Now it's the time for investors to put a bigger check size to grow more bigger better with the company.
This is super interesting. I think the previous conversation I was having, it was government of Karnataka. In your case, it's been the government of Gujarat and the central government as well. So the ecosystem in that sense has been very welcoming of deep tech startups. Uh, the last thought before I think I let you go is, what is the one coolest thing that your drone can do which you don't pitch to the army?
So it's a precision bullet with the mind which is striking it off. So I'm basically,
But thank you for coming down and all the best as you continue to build.
thank you so much.